Is ready?
Already?
Yes, ready.
A very good morning to everyone. My name is Abdul Mohammad Naushad, lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, BIT Polytechnic. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all for the session on Towards a Better Education during and after COVID-19. Now I'd like to welcome our guest, respected Principal of BIT Polytechnic, Dr. Aziz Mustafa, Principal of BIT Engineering, Dr. S.I. Manjur Basha, Principal of Bearys, Professor Ashok Mendonca, Guest of Honor, Mr. Deek Parassini, respective HODs of various departments, faculties, colleagues, and my dear students. Before we proceed any further, we have two amazing video on our college and the man of our, Mr. Deek Parassini. I request our principal. Now I request Mr. Deek Parassini sir to please play our video.
The view is exceptional, so is opportunity. Situated by the side of river Netravati in Mangalore, Karnataka, BIT Polytechnic is charging forward. Since its inception in 2014, BIT Polytechnic is creating world-class workforce. Today, BIT Polytechnic stands with energy, vision and focus. With vibrant and diverse community, college always strives for greater impact. Students at BIT receive a premier technology-centric education that fosters their ability to respond and anticipate challenges. An education that helps them to understand how to collaborate with project-based learning that bridges disciplines. They work together in an entrepreneurial environment. BIT Polytechnic also fosters the personal growth with varied experiences and perspectives that allows students to discover their true capability. Students stay ahead in such an vibrant ambience. BIT Polytechnic's acclaimed faculty provides stellar education. With progress comes change in the way we think, teach and learn. BIT Polytechnic is creating a dynamic teaching and learning environment. With progress comes creative responsibility. Under the leadership of Mr. Syed Mohammad Beary, Chairman Bearys Education, BIT has made unprecedented advances and taken the responsibility to meet the challenges of the world. When COVID-19 pandemic hit Mangalore, BIT students have created pedal-operated hands-free sanitizing machine and distributed. With progress comes recognition, support and encouragement. World-renowned thought leaders, architects and engineers visit campus for invited talks, orientation and commencement. There are number of significant facilities added this year. A world-class, aesthetically pleasing playground, Bearys Arena, was recently inaugurated. A magnificent library with a truly inspiring ambience with added digital infrastructure is open 24/7. In a fully secure surveillance and Wi-Fi campus is a model of excellence. We had an incredible successful admission season and also a wonderful recruitment season this year. BIT Polytechnic has witnessed 100% placement. BIT Polytechnic is grateful to supportive management and a loyal alumni. All these credentials exemplifies our focus on excellence in all that we do. We always abide by motto of Bearys Group, delivering excellence consistently. Please Join us on this journey.
Our speaker today is Deek Parassini, who believes that life is always positive and negativity does not exist. Give him a few minutes of your time and he will prove it. I know you all might be thinking how it is possible, but Deek is here to tell you how. Deek believes that positive living is when you have achieved an optimum balance between the 5 major aspects of life. That is, relationship, education, health, finance, and love is a solution of any problem in life. With over 15 years of work experience in marketing, sales, engineering, and psychology gives him a wide spanning experience to draw from. He is working as a regional sales manager at Middle East and South Asia. He has completed Bachelor of Science at USA, MBA from Birla Institute of Technology at India, and then MSc in Business Psychology at UK. Deek is very passionate, energetic, and frank in his interaction. He has talked to thousands of people of various age group and touched their life with positivity. Majority of his sessions are question and answer sessions, as he believes whatever motivation is given to people, if their core problems are not solved, then no motivation can help. He is active of social media and have a WhatsApp group with over 10,000 plus members where daily positive messages are shared among the group members. Today, you are getting an opportunity to interact with Deek directly. So, feel free to ask all your life doubts and get cleared. This is more of question and answer sessions where you have to ask your doubts about anything. Let it be relationship, career, education, dreams, goals, etc. Once again, BIT Polytechnic welcomes Mr. Deek Parassini for this wonderful session. Welcome you, sir.
Yes, now I request our principal, Dr. Aziz Mustafa, to give his inaugural speech on this session. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Resourceful person of the today's session, Mr. Deek Parassini, positive influencer, dear colleagues and beloved students, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. So, 2020, the opinion, everyone's opinion is a mixed opinion. One side, we have a lot of chaos. It's difficult to stay focused, and unusual terms like lockdown, seal down, no vaccination, that kind of words are coming, and to stick to our goals, it is a big challenge. And education is the one area which has got affected maximum. Students are at home, were at home for last several months, and parents are disturbed. So, having all this, there are certain positive things as well. Lot of digital disruptions have taken place. People have started working from home. Online classes have been started. Lot of software tools for taking classes online have started. So it is time to raise above the chaos which is created by this pandemic. How to go about, how to stay focused, how to achieve our goals. So we have very young, dynamic, positive influencer Deek Parassini. Definitely he will guide us, because all we have left in this year is only 2 months. Within 2 days we'll be entering November, only 2 months we have. So in the history, it should not, 2020 should not be a lost year. So when we retrospect in future, the 2020 should be a positive year, a productive year for us. How to do that? Definitely today's resource person will guide us. Definitely he will help us to emerge as winner in this chaotic time. So over to Naushad sir. Thank you. May Almighty make this session a great session, useful session, a productive session.
Thank you so much, sir. That was wonderful. Yeah. And now for the man of the hour, Deek Parassini, sir. Over to you, sir. Please start the section.
Okay, so that's really perfect. Thanks a lot, Dr. Abdul Aziz sir, for giving me this opportunity to be a part of BIT Polytechnic Mangalore.
Thank you.
And plus the team, which is Mr. Naushad sir and Anas. So they are the two people who really work behind the back, which made me brought here. So first thing I always tell everyone on whichever sessions I do, gratitude is the key for positive living. Right? So somewhere around everyone, whoever is watching the live show, you all have to be thankful to these three people and their support system, which has actually made me come in front of you people. So that is one thing I always tell most of the youth and the people. If you want to be a positive person, first thing is be thankful to what you have. Thankful to the teachers especially. Thankful to your parents, because they are the one who brought you into this world. The teachers have guided you to make you what you are right now. So there's many thankfulness, so that at the end of the day, you won't think that it's all you, and you won't think that it's all my hard work. It's not all your hard work. There's many other system, or there's many other people which actually brings value to your life, which completes your life. Always remember that before you stop. So that's why I will say thank you to everyone for being in this, and thank you to all the audience for being a part of the show. As you know, I really don't know how many of you know about me, how many of you researched about me. That's the other thing I always tell the youth or people who I give the audience. When you know a speaker is coming, make sure you do a couple of research of these people, because you don't know how you can utilize this person to your advantage, right? So that's the first thing you got to note. Second thing, since it's an online session and I'm relating to you more on your comments on YouTube and related to that, so feel free to ask me any questions. Obviously, I'm going to talk about this topic towards a better education during and after COVID situation. But then if you have any doubts, what I tell people is ask me any question from birth to death. You can ask me any doubts. My job is when I come for a session to clear all your doubts 100% and then close or leave the session. That's my objective, and all my sessions are done completely free of charge. I've been doing it for the last 3-4 years, and it kept on going till today. And after 10 years, 20 years also, my sessions will be completely as a giving back to the community and nothing more. That's a promise I've given to the world, and that's my objective and my mission to spread positivity to this world. Just an overview of what I do. So children and students, whoever's listening to the show, there's two ways I can do the show. One is to tell my story of how I have reached what I am. That is just an overview, so you understand how I'm talking all about this stuff. That's one thing. The other one, what you can do is I can directly go to the topic about education and work it up from. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to interact with you online to see if I can get a response. So is it story, or you want the topic which is towards better education? Because at the end of the day, it's always good to know who I am, that if you want to. If you don't want also, it doesn't matter. I've done so many sessions directly. If you want to go to question answer session, I can do that also. I don't plan my sessions. I don't plan my talks. I plan based on the feedback which people give me, right? So let me see if the comments are coming in so to get some interaction. So I will go on starting with the topic. If the votes come with stories, I will slowly get into my story also, if you want. So when you say the topic towards better education, COVID, so I will say there is 3 important words here, right? One is better. One is, people are voting for the story. One is better, one is education, and one is COVID. So there's 3 things over here which you have to focus on. My definition of education how I define. Many people have different meaning for education. Many people have different understanding of education. My meaning, which is my personal meaning, I can be wrong, but my personal meaning for education is anything that helps you grow as a human being is good education. Anything which helps you grow. For example, when you say growth, on what growth aspects? Relationship, education, health, finance, and love. These 5 aspects, if you're growing every day, you are you're educating yourself from that, right? At the end of the day, again, what is the other meaning of education? It's educating yourself so that it could be much more useful for you and to the surroundings around you by your growth. You can only be useful to the world when you grow. If you don't grow, you're actually of no use to the world. So why do you go and study? Many students ask me, why do you have to study? Right? It's not why do you have to study, it is what studying makes me is the question which you have to ask rather than why I have to study. The point is not about is it any worth. So because see why I'm talking about education first is because many people don't have a clear understanding of education. Many students study because main reason is, oh, everyone is studying, I also have to study. Right? That is one reason. Many people study because my parents are telling me to study, so I have to study. Right? Many people are studying the whole system and the world is my friends are studying, so I have to study. If that is the attitude you have, actually speaking, you are nowhere close to education. True meaning of education, I told you before, is growth. And how do you grow? You ask. The day you stop asking is the day you stop growing. So many people, that's why one of the main sessions I do in online or on my thing, I always go question answer session. Why? My main goal is to make everyone ask. Because if you ask, I'm telling you, no one can stop your growth. But what we do, we sit there, oh, if I stand up and ask, if I ask a question, what people will think? People will laugh at me. You know, people, if you got the answer, you can laugh back to the same people who have asked you the question. So again, back to education. What is education? Education equals to growth. How do you get that growth? You have to ask. What are you looking at your textbook and reading? You're asking for answers. So when you ask the answers and when you know the answers, you begin to automatically grow. So that's about education. I hope most of you have an understanding of how I see education. Now there's another perspective of education, which is based on experience. When you work or when you apply your education, you have a various set of experiences which you get. And that experience and the education which you learn from a university is organized in the book. When you bring it together is when wisdom steps out. Education will give you information. It is after you apply the information, you will know the truth. And once you know the truth, the wisdom steps out. So don't think, people ask me this question, why do I have to study everything? It is only when you study everything, you have the wisdom to differentiate what is good for me and what is not bad for me. Right? I have this standard question, like I get a lot of questions. What is education? Why, sir, I have to study everything? Like, why is that? I'm good at mathematics. Why I only don't study mathematics? It's only if you study science, you will know science is not good for me and mathematics is better for me. So many people even challenge me on saying Indian education is not good. It's not, giving growth to the students. That is all marketing going on against the Indian education. Right? So students, whoever is listening to my talk, how many of you think that the Indian education is not good? So if you say it is, let me say, how do I see on YouTube? Say good or not good. So I know you're meaning that. So how many of you say Indian education is not good? Say not good if you believe it's not good, and say good if it is good. So put your comments on your YouTube so I know, and your feedback I come to know. Okay, so I'll talk more about it. So students, whoever's on YouTube, on your comments column, or whoever's on Facebook or whichever medium you're using, put your comments good and not good of education. So I come to know the feel of people. How many of you think that education? Okay, Kader, Mohammed Sanaf. Okay, everyone say, okay, Mohammed, okay. Everyone is saying good. That is interesting. Okay, there's lots of good, only one no good. So there is Mohammed Shahil, Mohammed Suhail, or everyone is saying good. So that's quite impressive. BIT Polytechnic. So that really shows students love to study, and it's really great, right? So thank you guys for everyone who's feeding up. That shows students in that college values education, right? I've gone to many things, they all raise their hand, oh, Indian education is completely not good. So people who say no, and most of the people won't say no, because obviously, people tend to think that it is not good to say no, right? So for the people who says no, I'll just give you more overview, and for students who say it is good, I will give you more content to challenge people who says it's not good. Okay, so that it is win-win for both. Again, why I'm talking about education is because first you have to understand the clear meaning of education. Then I will get into after and before COVID. Then only, because if you don't have understanding of meaning of education, if I go and talk about COVID, you will never relate to that education. Man, I really have to salute the college because everyone has said good, only 2 people said not good, right? So let me talk to those 2 people who's not good. Okay, now let me explain how Indian education is built up in such a very good form. In 1st to 8th or 9th, you study everything, right? When you study everything, you come to know, am I good at science, or am I good at commerce, or am I good at arts? It's only when you know everything, you can differentiate of which you're really good at. For example, you're good at mathematics and you just have your favorite teacher. So with the favorite teacher, you love mathematics and you think mathematics is the best thing. You have no idea about science. It's only when you study science, you will know if you're really good at it and how mathematics can be involved, which makes you a better human being. So study everything, filter out what is not good, and then select your career. So which can be science and commerce. Now, after you're taking science and commerce, you study more about science. Once you finish your 11th and 12th, you can choose mechanical engineering, you can choose civil engineering. Again, what are you studying in the basic foundation? You're again studying the foundation of everything. So what is the strength of Indian education is you learn everything and then you go into the various other aspects and you filter it, and you move on to that. But the problem here is when parents start involving in this education. The biggest problem what I have seen is when parents involve in the education, beta, don't do this, or beta, don't do this, I'm an engineer. You also have to be an engineer. You have to be a doctor. That is when most of the Indian education falls on its face. Now, many people ask me, again, there's some people ask me how it is still good. Yeah, the Google CEO, the Microsoft CEO, all these people have actually, right? All these people have actually done Indian education first, right? So they've done that Indian education and moved on and became that CEO. So, but then those people sometimes around are saying that Indian education is not good. There is a different marketing perspective onto it. Why? Everyone knows the way how India is going, way how the Indian education is going. They're going to produce so much of engineers, so much of doctors, so much of the best skilled laborers that that system is going to be a threat to the international market. So what they're trying to do with you is that saying that Indian education is not good, start a business, go into startup, and they're going to fill your mind in such a way that it is going to work against you on a longer perspective. And obviously, so the only way to win over the growth of India is to destroy education and divert the youth to move towards shortcuts, to move towards business startups, to move towards various other quick money schemes. So they go after that. So think about from a bigger picture. Why would search engines say that Indian education is crap? There is a reason behind it. Because the only way they know how to destroy the system, which India is having, producing engineers and all that thing, is to market in such a way that the whole world thinks that the Indian education is not good, right? So I hope I have answered that question as to why Indian education is so beautifully designed. So it works it from that way. There again, the problem with Indian education is when parents start involving and differentiates or changes the direction. When children feel that I'm good at mathematics, they will say go do in science. When they are good at science, they will go do in commerce, right? So that is how it is. So I got a very interesting question. It's not good. If you read the book, The One Thing, it is foolish to study everything, focus on one thing. If you put your leg on multiple boats, you will have to drown. Now, I'm not telling you to put your legs in multiple boats. I'm telling you to know the information of all the boats which are available, so you have the wisdom good enough to know which boat do I put my leg onto. So the question here is not about when you're studying everything, why are you studying somewhere around to get a job? So the job is the boat. Education is not the boat. So what you have to understand here is that is mercy of what you have read. What I'm telling you is that if you want to grow to a certain level, the power is when you learn everything and focus on one, so that you can differentiate everything. Just focusing on one, and the other time you're just time passing and focusing your things on the other boats, it again won't support your system, right? I hope, Mercy, I've answered the question. Next question, Mohammed is asking, skillful education or bookish education, which is good? The question here is, any education, let it be skillful or let it be bookish. At the end of the day, it is how you apply to your life which makes a difference, right? So what you have to do is, when I tell people is which education is good, it's always both. So you have your skills, which gives you certain skills to do work. But my point here is that if it's not backed up by the bookish information, your skill is useless. See, at the end of the day, even a skill is somewhere in the book. So make sure you understand that difference, right? I hope, Mohammed, I have answered to that question. So back to, okay, Suad is saying right, Mohammed Hawas is saying good. So all thanks a lot for all your positive feedbacks on this. So that's really great. Now back to the topic again. So students, whatever questions, doubts you have, ask in the comments column so I can pick it up and reply in the best possible way, right? So don't wait or don't think. If it's a real question which is bothering you, feel free to ask me. Now back to the questions again, right? So I've talked about education. I've talked about Indian education. Now let me talk about COVID situation. People are still telling story. Okay, let me tell my story very quickly so people have an overview of what I'm trying to tell here. So really quick, I'll just take maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes to tell my story, and then we will go on to the second part, which is how education is better for COVID, right? So my story, once upon a time, that's how all stories start, right? So I was a guy who was a very happy-go-lucky guy till 8th grade. After the 8th grade, I had a lot of good friends. I built up a lot of good, big network of friends, and that friendship started having a lot of issues. And then I said, okay, this is not going anywhere. Let me just switch off my mobile for 2 years. That was somewhere around in my 12th. I switched off my mobile for 2 years and went after success. Let me become a successful person first, and then I will start making friends and networking and all that thing. So I switched off my mobile. I went and asked my father, what do you want me to become? At that time, my father said, go and be a manager. He just casually said it, right? So I opened up the classified. This is one tip for whoever wants a job. Open up the classified and find out which job you like, and whichever job that is, go and see what skills and what work experience and what that is needed. So what I did was I opened up the classified. When I looked at to be a manager, you need 20 to 15 to 20 years of experience and an MBA to be that manager, right? So then I thought, holy, how can I make 20 years of experience? Because after BCom, which is 3 years, maybe I would fail 1 year. You don't know, anything is possible, right? And then after that, you do an MBA for another 2 years. So basically 7 years and plus another 20 years. So around 45 to 50 years, I'm going to be a manager. I don't want to be a very old manager. So I started working at the age of 18. So that is one thing which I took this step. to make this 20 years experience very quickly. So I started working and I started studying, right? So that's how I started. After the age of 18, I never took 1 rupee or 1 dirhams from my parents. It was all sponsored. All my education was done by paying my own money and not my parents' money. So that's the other thing. If you can create money by working in some other places as a part-time, create that money, learn how to be independent, then talk about freedom. Many people talk about freedom when they're dependent on the parents, when they're staying with the parents, when the parents want, and then they want say, I want freedom to do stuffs. If you want freedom, first stand on your own legs. The first thing is stop being dependent, right? So that's my plan. I started working and studying at the age of 18. My first job was a secretary's job. And I started doing my bachelor's. So the timing was very interesting. I was studying in the morning. I was working in the morning from 9 to 4. And then 6 to 9, I had my college. I did it for 3 years. I started doing that, and I slowly moved on. Got promoted once as a customer. So I was in what? Secretary. I got an administrator. After that, I got a new job. After I finished my bachelor's, I got a new job opportunity as a storekeeper. Shreya, you have a question, just put on the question and I will answer, right? Don't say that I have a question on the comments, just ask your question, I can answer it, right? Quickly, I'll pause my story. There's a good question which I got from Sarak Srivastav. How can I cope with stress, right? Now let's just mix this all up, right? Let's talk about topic. Let's talk about questions. Let's come back to the topic and a little bit of my story. And then let's make it that interesting so that I don't bore you with good advice as always, right? So back to scoping up with stress. What is stress, right? Stress normally comes when you don't plan anything. Stress normally comes when you don't plan anything. So for example, you have your exams. You don't study. The more you don't study, the more the exams come, the more the dates come closer, the stress begins to increase in such a way it's related to the dates which come. So if you don't study 20%, 20% of stress will automatically be there in your life. So it's directly related to study. So if you don't plan properly, last minute you go, stress will start. If you're not on time, stress will start coming in. So how do you cope up with stress? First of all, first thing I tell everyone, I had a session which I gave for all teachers, right? In that, the teachers generally told me, hey, stress is a normal thing, sir. It doesn't make any big difference. I was like, no, stress is not a normal thing, right? You are all born as a baby once upon a time. You are all born as a baby. You're not born as an adult. Babies don't have stress. Babies don't have depression. Babies don't have fear. Babies don't have any of the negative feelings which the adult has. My point, and I tell everyone, is you're born as a baby, live as a baby, and die as a baby. Most people, what happened? They're born as a baby, they go adult, and then when they go older, they again become a baby. I was like, stop doing that. You have your character of what you were actually born. Start living that. It starts making a difference. Again, back to stress. If you don't do things on time, you will be stressful. If you go and say yes to things what you can't do, you will be stressful. So the question here is not coping with stress to destroy or to plan out in such a way that these stresses don't come in future. Many people, what you do, many students, they leave last minute to study. When you leave it for last minute for study, stress is going to come. And with that stress, you might get the pressure to do well. You might do well, but then if you lose 10 marks, don't sit and cry and get stressful that time. It is because you delayed your studies, you got your less marks. Accept the fact, right? So that is one way. Quick, I just told about that. Shreya is asking one question. Sir, we study in our books. Is that no use in doing job? If we gonna do business, वहाँ पर history काम नहीं आएंगे. World War II kab hua? Okay, that is a very interesting question. Okay, guys, ask me in English so it's easier for me to relate to. It's a very beautiful question. But my question here back to Shreya is very simple. Is that even history teaches you something. History also teaches you business. History teaches you how the previous governments were run. History teaches you how different great rich people did various stuffs in the industry and made a difference. History has a lot of things to teach to the present world. Now, for example, everyone is talking about the COVID situation. Everyone is saying, oh, it's a big problem. There were various pandemics which happened in the past too. Why are you not prepared? Why are you not planned? COVID, like COVID has happened before, right? So at that time, if you knew the history of the previous pandemics, which has actually happened, which has flashed out the world in various different ways, if you would have known that history, you would be much more planned for the COVID situation, which is happening right now. So history teaches a lot of what actions you take and what results will bring out in future. Because what happens is if history is not understood, I'm sure you will never understand what is going to happen in your future, because at the end of the day, history always tends to repeat. History always forms in different ways to make you understand that. So what happens here is, again, for example, I'll tell you another counter for history. People say history is very difficult to study. History is very, very tough. But if I tell you, go and watch a movie and tell me the story of the whole movie after watching the show, I'm sure 80% will clearly tell me the complete story of what has happened in the movies. Why? Because you like the celebrities, you like the story, and you build it up from that. Same way, if you study history, you will learn the story. Right now, many love all this is coming, all from the movies. But same way strategy, same way, competition, same way how you to win over different people, countries, what happened there, that all can be applied in your business if you really look at it. At the end of the day, what is business? It is all about humans, and history teaches everything about humans. And if you study from history from that point of view, you can directly apply it to this one. I hope, Shreya, I have answered to which is a very good question, actually, Shreya. So that was interesting. So everyone is triggered on education now. So that's really good. So again, Shreya, I'll come to your question later. Barack Obama, I never knew there was someone like that over there in the college. Anyways, great name. So how do you know what you're capable of? Like, how do you know what you're good in? So what you have to do here is that is to understand your capabilities. You need to know what your strength is and what your weakness is, right? The only you will know your capability is once you know what your strength and weakness is. You start applying, or you start taking actions to see if you can do what with your strength on whatever you can do. And when you start doing that, you will know what your capabilities are. Many people or many students, what they do is that they think and make this fake capabilities of them. My friend is doing, I can also do it. The world is doing, I can also do it. Doesn't mean that you can do it. So capabilities can only be known if you take those actions. And when you take those actions is when you understand your capacity. So whatever you have to do, Barack Obama, is take those actions, take those first steps, and take those things. So slowly you will know what you're good at. And once you know what you're good at, get the education, get the experience, get the skills to fine tune the things what you're further good at. Because the more you rub a diamond, the more it starts twinkling. And that is how you got to do it. I hope, Barack, I have answered to that question, right? Okay, Shreya saying she wants this answer itself. So why there is really need to study of books? So the need to study of books is the only way you can quickly gain wisdom. So the books are written by people who have gained the wisdom and converted into books. So it's easily understandable for people. It is easily understood by the experience which they need, and they can look into a specific book. Now, Shreya, my simple question: why do people read novel? For entertainment. Instead of that entertainment, if you go and read books, which helps you to grow, which helps you to improve, which helps you to be a better individual, that is good education. Novel is a time pass. Watching movies is a time pass. But what movie I need to watch which helps me grow? What books which I have to read which helps me grow? That is a question which you have to ask, right? I hope I have answered that question. Constance is asking. Oh, Constance, okay, he's from another college. So anyways, he's one of the professors in one of the colleges. So Constance, because he's the one who arranged the session with St. Mary's. That's same Constance. Yeah, it's the same Constance. So let me ask, as failure is a stepping stone for success, similarly, history will help us to understand past and prepare for the future. That's perfectly added by Constance. Thanks a lot for that. Next question by Mohammed Nasud. Mohammed, how to overcome weakness? Guys, I will tell you very, very simple statement of how to overcome weakness. My point of view is only work on your strength and keep working on your strength and fine tune your strength as much as you can, so that when your strength comes in front of the world, there is no one to challenge you. That's point number one. Only work on your weakness if it's an obstacle to your goal. Only work on your weakness. So it's an obstacle to your goal. Only work on that time. If it's not an obstacle, never ever work on your weakness. It's a waste of time. If for example, think I'm from Kerala, right? I'm from Kerala down south. So Malayalam is our language. So when I'm in Kerala, and I know I'm only going to be in Kerala, and the only language which I'm going to keep and speak in my life is Malayalam, never ever I should waste my time learning English. What I'm trying to tell you is very simple, is only learn it if you really need it. Don't waste time in working or understanding what your weaknesses are. So the problem is, my goal is this. I need to achieve this. What weaknesses do I have which is stopping me from achieving this? And then start working on that. Many people have these experiences. Many people have these issues with weakness is because weakness is generally created when you compare yourself to someone else. Guys, stop comparing. Every time when you compare yourself to someone else, you are weak. When you compare yourself from yesterday to today, that is all about you got to focus on. Many people tell me, what is success? Right? What is actually the main meaning of success? If you improve from yesterday to today, if you improve from last month to this month, if you improve from last year to this year, everyone in front of me or in this social media talking with me is successful. So the point is, it's not about the weakness. Is am I growing or not? And that is how you got to see it. I hope I have clarified that question. Okay, Himesh Sai Kumar is asking how to divert concentrations towards studies and other criteria. See, when you are a student, always focus on studies first, right? The other thing I always tell is that be someone first and then work on the other criteria. Now, when you're saying about, I really don't understand how to divert concentration towards studies from other criteria. So I think you want to go to your concentration on studies. That is my understanding, which you're asking here. Let's make it very simple. Let's make it very simple. If you are actually looking at concentration of studies, and there's further question from Mohammed also asking how to have interest in studies. You concentrate. Now, many people think that I don't have concentration. How many of you think that you don't have concentration? Put your hand, raise up your hand or say I or whatever it is. Tell me how many of you think doesn't have concentration. Put your comments on the YouTube so I come to know the feedback properly. Now, let me give you an example here. We all have concentration. Barack Obama says I. So you all say. So let me make it different. For me, concentration, everyone in the world has concentration from my point of view. It is a myth. It is a fake thing which you put into your head saying that you don't have concentration. So let me give you an example. You're studying ABCD, 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 ABCD. Oh my God. Many people are saying no concentration. Let me prove you all wrong here. Everyone has concentration. So you're studying ABCD, 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 ABCD. Then slowly, for the girls, it might be your favorite actor. Let me just generalize the acting thing. So generally, okay, Hemant says that I have concentration. So Hemant, what's your question? So let me talk more about concentration of studies, right? So what happens? You're studying ABCD, 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 ABCD. Slowly, your favorite actor, Shah Rukh Khan, or actress Deepika Padukone, whoever it is, whoever your actress is, slowly comes into the mind, because tomorrow they have a new movie which is coming out. You've seen the trailer looks good. So what is happening is your concentration is shifting from studies to the movie, to the actor, to all these things. So what is happening here is that the concentration is shifting from one point to another point, from another point to another point. So you can't say that concentration is not there. Concentration moves. Concentration moves from what is most important for me. So next question you'll ask me, how do you get more concentration and find the importance? You should know why you're studying. When you don't know why you're studying, concentration is never going to come. For example, if you're hungry, I'm telling you, you will know automatically, you will go in search of food and eat. Point number one. Second thing is, if you are, your birthday, I'm telling you, the most active and the most concentrated person on your birthday celebration. Why? You know the value of birthday. So same way, what you need to do is very, very simple. That you should know why you're studying. When you know why you're studying, automatically the focus will start coming in. Automatically that will start making a difference into your life. So why you're studying? Is it to get a job? That why should be strong enough. Like your birthday. If the birthday's why is strong enough, automatically you will make that impact, right? Back to again conscience, sir. When people speak about education, they speak about their marks rather than the skills. What do you say about it? When people see, the problem here is, there is two things here. When you talk about education, why people talk about marks is marks actually tells you where you stand in relation to the education which you have created. Doesn't mean that it defines you or makes you a person who understands that information correctly or not. So what I tell people or what I tell students is that if you have studied the book 100%, if you have studied the book 100%, whatever marks you get doesn't make any difference. So the question here is, what have you studied? The question here is, what have you worked on? If you have studied 100%, you have done justice to that education and you know the content. In future, automatically, that 100% of knowledge will benefit you, will automatically make a difference, will automatically give you that growth. But the point is, first study, first educate yourself, and then only you will know how to apply it. So skill is important, right? But at the end of the day, that is also driven by an education at the end. So a certain skill is of a skill of doing certain things in a certain way. That certain way is education. But what happens here is, marks for the world, it becomes important because it becomes a standard comparison point. Oh, he got 90, I got 60. Oh, 90 is better, 60 is unbetter. Problem is there. Maybe 90 guy copied on the whole exam and got that 90. If they copied and got that 90, that is not good education. So marks cannot be perfectly decoded. The teacher's mood is not good. You might lose 10 marks just like that, right? The teacher is not in a good mood. She had a big fight with the husband and then she's coming and carrying the paper. There are chances. People are people. There's a human mind. It will always influence your marks at the end of the day. But if you have studied 100% of the book, that will obviously start applying into your life automatically, right? Okay, I hope, Constance, I've answered to that question. Good vibes. Thanks a lot for all the thumbs ups and likes towards the show. Barack Obama is asking again, is it good to go on a field which you have studied or your interest? Very good question, Barack Obama. I like this name, Barack Obama. Anyways, so is it good to go on the field which you have studied or your interest? Let me make it very simple. The question here, which you have to ask yourself is, which gives me revenue first? Revenue means which gives me the salary or which gives me the money first. Because it's only when money comes, you can do everything what you like at the end of the day. So for example, let's take it this way. You want to be a photographer. and you have studied whatever from BIT, you're taking Polytechnic or the diploma or engineering, whatever you're doing that. So you want to be a photographer, you can replace photography with any interest which you have. So my suggestion, which I normally tell students, is that first thing is what you need to do is you have studies. Whatever you study. Free time, work on the things of which is of interest. Free time is you're watching IPL right now, stop watching the IPL, work on your interest. If you're watching a 3 hours movie, stop watching that, work on your interest. So you work on your interest, you plan out your interest, you grow from that interest slowly. Even this is also going, you might get a job, you get the money. So you want to be a photographer. So when you want to be a photographer, what happens here is on a longer perspective, you're growing as a photographer also. So take photographs. Sometimes you might not have a camera now. Take your phone, whichever phone you have. Take photographs from your friend. Learn how to do more photographs. You'll get your first engineering job. Get that engineering job. Get the money. By which information, by this experience of interest, you know which camera, which lens, which aperture, which focal length, all these information you will come to know. Am I going to get into marriage? Am I going to get into photography of portraits? Am I going to go into that? So all these information you are doing when you have your free time, education is just going to get into engineering, get the money, buy a new camera, start taking photographs, have an Instagram profile, run a couple of ads, start doing free photographs, go to marriages, take photographs and make it working from there. And then slowly, when you start doing good jobs or when you start doing good, photographs, slowly people will come to know. And when people will come to know, they say, oh, why don't you do it from our show? Then slowly start charging money. And then slowly, when you start charging money and the money supersedes by double the salary which you're making, leave your job, go full-time in photography. There you go, studies done, parents are happy, and you reach your interest at the age of 30 or whatever it is, automatically. There you go. Both are done, studies and your interest. The whole world is happy and you're also happy at the end of the day, right? Naughty Roof, I really don't know when you have joined. Is education a part of success? Yes, education has a very, very big part of success. The Nature Rider asked this question, how to overcome fixed mindset? See, I think this is the other way around. I really don't know what you mean to ask by what a fixed mindset is. You're fixed on something, you want to move on. Then if that is the question you're asking me, if you have to move on, you should know the value of why you want to move on. For example, you're doing, I'm doing this session. I'm slowly might be getting hungry. So if I know the value of hunger, I'll say, now I need to start the show. I'm getting hungry and move on. So to move on, read more about hunger. Read more about those stuffs which you want to go and do. And automatically that will start shifting into your mind. Naushad is asking, that's the Naushad? Oh, that's the Naushad. Okay. According to you, sir, what are the real problems in life and what solutions would you suggest to solve them? Okay. I always say this statement, a problem is only a problem if you see problem as a problem. A problem is only a problem if you see problem as a problem. First thing is stop seeing that. Because if you stop seeing problem as a problem, then only your solution will start coming in. Everyone in this world have only 4 or 5 problems. But the problem with most of the people is that solution to these problems are very simple. But what people do is they go for the complicated solutions for solving the simple problems. They go for complicated solutions to save simple, which is very, very easy to solve. What happens there is you're putting a complicated solution to a simple problem. It gets more complicated, right? And it works against you. So the main problem is what I have seen, if you want to summarize or make it very easy to understand, right? What happens here is the problem is stop seeing problem as a problem. What I tell people is every problem is something life trying to teach you. Let me give you a very, very good statement I normally say to most of my end of the show. Every tear which falls out of your life, tear can be a problem. Every tear which falls out of your eyes is something life trying to teach you. Every tear which falls out of your eyes is something life trying to teach you. If you focus on that experience and learn and make those changes, or learn that lesson which life is trying to teach you, the tear will stop. But if you don't learn that lesson, life, universe, or God is going to send different people or the same people again and again, the same situation again and again, to tell Naushad to change. If you're crying, if you think it's a problem, there is something which you have to change. And if you don't change that, automatically the problem will keep repeating. And that is the biggest problem in life. Not changing to situations, not changing to the scenarios, and not working it from that point. So the biggest problem is people are not changing. They're accepting the problems as the problem. They're accepting the situations as a situation. I can't do anything. The world, it doesn't say that. Take those actions, take those steps towards it. You will see the problem won't repeat. So it's like that. Tear is a tear. You want to stop the tear? You have to change. You have to take the actions. And that is what makes the difference. I hope Naushad have answered to that question. Okay, he gives a thumbs up, so it's all good. Right? So back to so feel free to ask me any question at any age. I have done sessions to 5th grade students to 6-year-old group of ladies. So, okay, Shreya's coming back again strong. According to you, studying in a girls' college gives us more confidence, or studying in a co-ed college gives us you more? And yes, how you actually gain more confidence so that you can talk fluently. Okay, it's a man, Shreya, you're asking really, really beautiful questions. I have never heard like these questions coming. It seems like Shreya is really observing the world in a different perspective. So let me clarify that. For me, stop seeing yourself as girls and boys. The day you compare yourself girls and boys, you tend to bring a competition. You tend to see different people as different. And you see girl species as different from boy species. Stop doing that. That's the first thing, Shreya, I would suggest. The other thing, what you need to do is respect both parties. The biggest problem most people have is that you think that girls, whoa, they are a special character who we need to hook up with. Oh, boys, oh, they're different. Stop seeing that. See everyone as humans, and see everyone as those people which you respect as a human being. So simple way. See everyone, as I always say, as brothers and sisters, and full stop it there. And when you start doing that, automatically you won't have this differentiation of girls only, boys only, or girls only. So it doesn't matter which college you do. It doesn't matter which education you do. At the end of the day, if you respect everyone as a human, you won't differentiate yourself, and your confidence will automatically drive into talking. Now, how do you build up confidence? Confidence is more. So I hope I've answered, Shreya, your first question. Is there any big difference? There's no difference. But if you differentiate people in your mind that boys are different, my simple question back to you, Shreya, again. Are you not confident to talk to your father? Are you not confident to talk to your brothers? Are you not confident to talk to your cousin brothers? 99% will be yes. If that is yes, it doesn't matter whichever school you learn or college you learn, co-ed or girls' school or boys' school. But then the system would drive you to make that differentiation. Make sure you don't fall into that. If you don't fall into that, you're all good, right? Now, how do you gain confidence and talk fluently to people? If you can talk fluently to your family, which is mother, father, you can talk fluently to anyone. It is when you differentiate and think that this person is superior to me, or this person is different from me, what they might think about me. And when you start driving around on these thought process, you will start reducing your confidence. So compare your strength with the other people's strength. I am a woman, he is a man. I respect each other and have the conversation. You have no issues. But on the other hand, you said, oh, I am a girl, he's a boy. You have that thing going on. Then obviously it starts hitting. Oh, they are senior or they are higher than me. When you start seeing that going on your head, confidence will start. I hope I've answered the question. Okay, Mohammed is asking me another question. Oh man, all interesting questions have started coming in. Guys, thanks a lot for asking this question. I'll go on as long as you ask me questions. My Instagram, my YouTube, I'll come back later. I'm only focusing on BIT Polytechnic now and work it from there, right? Mohammed Amir is asking how to overcome fear when you're facing an interview. Okay, I have done a big video exclusively on interview. If you have time, go and see on the YouTube, go Deek Parassini interview. It'll take you through that easily. But still, if you ask the question, I have to give you the answer. It's very, very simple. Go to an interview such that you're willing to lose the job and you're going to perform in such a way that I am going to give my best regardless of what they think and if I'm going to get the job or not. If you go with that attitude, automatically you will start overcoming it. Let's see fear. Now let me talk about fear. Fear normally comes because you have limited information about something. So if why you're having fear of interview, you have limited information of the organization. You don't know if you're going to get the job or not. You don't know if you're well prepared or not. That don't know, start filling. I am prepared. I know about the organization. I know what questions they're going to ask me. I know what's my reply to each of this question. I know who's in my competition. I know where I can fit best in the job. When you start having all those answers with regard, sometimes your English might be an issue for you. Go and improve your English if English is needed for you for your interview. Sometimes your skill or command of knowledge of speaking is not good. So talk in front of the mirror and see how you look. And that is how you overcome fear. Limited information is what it's all about. Right? So more questions coming in. It's really interesting here. People say, look outside the box. How is it possible when you're fixed in the job? Job is only for 8 hours, 12 hours, maximum 16 hours. You have another so many hours to look outside the box. So at that time, look outside the box, explore things outside the box, work out stuffs outside the box. And when you win over that outside the box, leave that fixed job and go outside the box and make a difference to this world. I hope I've answered the question. Mubina is asking this question. Is it necessary to correlate education with job income? Not really, because, okay, I didn't complete my story. I've done all my education in commerce and I'm doing an engineer's job. Right? So you can't correlate completely on education. Finally, I get a thank you from Shreya. So it's good to know I've answered most of the Shreya. Really great questions you have asked. Thank you for that. Right? So back to the necessary correlation or job or income. So let me see it from this way. Let me continue my story so you people know how I'm doing an engineer's job, completely doing my education in commerce, and that will prove you the answer. So how far did I reach the story? I got my first job, and the second and third job was a storekeeper, but they paid me double the salary. Storekeeper for an aeronautical engineer firm. So I was working as a depot administrator, and the next job is storekeeper, but they paid me double salary. Uncles and aunties will come, beta, don't do this. Right? Then mother will come, aunties are saying like this, beta, don't do this. Then friends will say, oh, you're making this business, you're desperate for money, you're going there. I told them, everyone, double the salary, double the salary, double the salary. So when I got into that job, everyone made fun of me, but I got double the salary hitting my bank. I was happy. Even though the storekeeper's job doesn't matter. But then when I was in storekeeping, I used to help technicians. I used to help managers on IT. I used to work as a customer service. I used to literally help everyone learning the system. So I know where the spare parts are, which is in the stores. I know where it's fitted and I know how the technical reports are being written. So the customer support guy came to know that I'm this helping person, right? Help. Let me misuse him. He gives me his job for 1 month because he's going on leave. I said, yeah, I will do it. But he comes back after 1 month of his leave or vacation and he resigns for the job. Who's the next best candidate? That's how I moved from stores to customer service. In customer service, what I used to do is that my target to be the manager is very close by because I was reporting to the customer support manager. So customer support manager, what I started doing there is, manager, use it free, I will do your job. So I started doing the customer support manager's job. The sales manager saw the customer support manager sitting very free. So the sales manager comes to me, asks me, would you like to join my department? I say, why not? As long as you promote me. I moved from customer service to, I was doing my MBA in the process. I started doing customer service and I moved to sales. Now sales problem happened. They wanted a technical person there. So the reorganization happened and they wanted a sales engineer in the job. So many interviews, many mechanical engineers, many aeronautical engineers came for the interview. I was a BCom guy with an MBA was studying. Everyone challenged. There was interviews one after the other. And I also gave my interview. But the way I knew the system, none of the newcomers knew. So they have no other chance than to promote me. And they promoted me, but changed the job description from sales engineer to technical sales representative. I was like, holy. I went to all my engineers and friends and told them, see, I got technical next to my name. Right? So that's how a commerce guy became first technical next to his name. Slowly went around, and I came to know when I became a sales guy, I started doing the customer's job. Customer's job, you sit free, I will do your job. Because maybe I have a promotion kept there. And I started doing that. And then one of the customer told one of the manager of my competitor companies here around. So I called him, would you like to join? Like I said, no, I called him, I went for an interview. And I talked to him and told him that I'm interested to work for this company and you need me especially to be a part of this company. And I started working, went for the interview and told him in the end, sir, you can talk to any colleague who I've worked with. You can talk with any customer. If someone gives you negative feedback, don't give me the job. That's how I did it. And he goes and talks to a manager who was his ex-colleague, who I used to work as a storekeeper. I used to help him in his IT computer support. He gives a good feedback and I got this job as a regional sales manager. So I'm still working. I work as a regional sales manager for Middle East and South Asia. That's a job which I do, which is one hat which I have. The other hat is positivity, spreading positivity, which is purely giving back to the community and that's all. So, ma'am, Mubina, ma'am, I hope I have answered to your question in the best possible way, that there is two ways. One is to grow by education. One is to grow by experience. But the most powerful thing is education and experience together, which you become so powerful that you can. So I became a manager at the age of 30, where the classified said that you can only be a manager at the age of 50. But basically, I fast forward. I've rewinded, not fast. I fast forward my life by 20 years and saved it. Shaima is asking, is engineering a better course? Yes or no? The question is not about is engineering better. The question is, are you good enough for engineering and that career which you need to make, and which career which you're going to make after joining engineering, which is job availability, what's the market status, what is the market condition, what's the placement, will I get a job or not, which job I need, and that job requires engineering, then I will say engineering is better for you. If that dream job doesn't require engineering, engineering is not good for you. I hope I've answered that question. Okay, Jam Mohammed says, do higher studies better or getting job experience? Always job experience first. Because always tell you something. Higher education, which is masters, or which is most of the master degrees or MBA, should always be used to get a promotion in the existing job. Right? So always see it from that point of view. So work it. So experience gives you a different thing altogether and it works it from there. Umar is asking a question. Sir, if I start doing a job by completing only my diploma of any department, will it affect my job skill and salary? First of all, when you are really young, at the age which is below 25, you should never be worried about the salary. Salary will be only a worry point when you're going to the marriage thing and or you have a certain responsibility towards the family. So the point here is get a job, get your diploma, start growing in your department, start working and getting the experience, see how I can apply my diploma into that, see if there's any masters which I can do with working, and that way it will obviously make a difference, right? I hope, Umar, I've answered to the question. Now, as you know, we are slowly getting into the serious questions now. I'll go on answering as long as you people ask me, right? Next is Mohiddin is asking, what is that some people listen to politicians more than the expert scientists? Okay. how do I explain this to you? Normally, I keep all my conversation of politics and of God, of religion, of all those things. But still, if the question comes, I ask. Generally, it's what I say, very, very strong marketing. For example, you see politics, lot of photos of the politicians all around your city. So basically, people are exposing yourself, right? So the more you see yourself, the more you believe that person, whatever that person says, you tend to believe it. Same thing. Why are people drinking soft drinks, right? Like all the cola drinks. Why are people drinking that? They know it's bad for them. They know it's not good for them, but they still drink that cola drink. Why? Branding, marketing, constantly cola, 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 that you tend to believe that I need a cola to feel happy. So it's more revolved around that marketing. So I hope I've answered the question, Moedin. So Atwik, why our accommodation doesn't start from January 1st? Why should it actually bother you? A date January 1st is just a calendar, a date which is just being celebrated just because certain people think that is the calendar. It actually doesn't matter if it is January or March or whatever date is different place. Now, for example, Indian education in the Gulf starts at a different time. Indian education in India starts at different, but the exams happen at the same time. So the question here is don't focus so much on the dates. It has nothing to do with dates. You have 1 year to do. Make sure you get that right. Right? So Chetana's next question, does the development of social media after affect educational process in schools and universities? This is asking from, it's a teacher's question, it looks like that. Does the development of social media platform affect educational process in schools and universities? My answer would be yes, ma'am, because if you don't develop it in such a way that, because when the world is wholly moving on to a virtual kind of a world, yes, it is going to affect. For example, why is BIT live with me? Because it's changing. Why are we on social media, which is YouTube and Instagram? Because system has changed. Or else what I would be doing, I would be directly coming to the university and doing this session which you're actually looking. But then what happens here is if I am going to BIT and doing this session, only those set of people will only have my exposure. But the power of social media is that the whole world can have an exposure of what you're actually doing and work it from there. I hope, Chaitana, I've answered the question. Shreya says, thank you. Barak is asking, what's my company based on? It's with oil and gas. I don't know if you know about it. You don't know the aircraft engines. The aircraft engines get modified into oil and gas. Basically, my customer, because I'm South Asia, so my customers in India is GAIL, ONGC, Reliance. So they are my customers. They have these gas turbines, which actually runs, and our company repairs and maintains these gas turbines, right? I hope, Barak, I've answered the question. Back again to Shreya's question. Sir, just give me some lines while introducing yourself in interview. I mean, what can I add more rather than telling about your qualification? Any introduction which you give for your interview should be related to how your introduction adds value towards that job which you're applying for. So when you talk about how do I introduce myself, right? What I would say, some people call me a positive influencer. Some people call me a healer of the mind. Some people call me a Q&A specialist. Some people call me mentor. Some people call me coach, but I'm just none of them. I'm just a simple person trying to spread positivity. And that too, completely free to this world. That is my mission. And I'm after that mission of making people positive. So that obviously will bring a lot of interest of whoever's interested in positivity. So Shreya, what you should do is when you give your introduction, it should be, rather than giving your name, pitch who you are first, which means I am a person who really loves to grow, right? If you want, give your name. I'm Shreya. This one, obviously now if people won't know you, obviously you have to give your name first. So I am Shreya who's done this. My mission or my interest is towards growing with companies like you, and work it from that point of view. right? So when you introduce yourself, your introduction should give complete value as how you're the perfect fit for that job which you're applying for. So the question here is you should have a complete idea, and your introduction should keep changing with each job change also. If someone says that all my introduction is same, you're not going through a good introduction. Your introduction keeps changing. So if you ask me my introduction, it'll change. If a teacher asks me an introduction, my introduction will be different. If a senior person or a HOD principal is asking me, I have a different explanation. If a kid is asking me, who are you? I have a different explanation. So what you need to do is that your introduction should keep changing based on the job which you're applying for, and take it from there. Thanks a lot, Mubina. You got the answer. Okay, Vinay is asking, murder, rape, and such crimes are more frequent. Can this problem be changed in the current educational system, or education needs to be transferred? How do you overcome that? Now, what I'm going to say might offend a lot of people, but that is the truth. So I'm going to say that. So point is, murder, rape, and crimes are more frequent. I would disagree with that, because 100 years before also there was murder. Different wars were happening, people were getting killed. Different armies take over different places, different kings take over different places. Rape also used to happen. And when the armies are not well done, or when armies are not doing the right way, or whatever, the armies or the countries or the kings or the queens or whatever, they don't do it right, obviously crime will also start happening. So always remember one thing, that positivity and negativity, which means all these problems will always coexist in this world. You can never win over complete negativity. You can never win over completely positivity. Positivity and negativity will always be in balance. That is the beauty of life. I think I'm talking a little more on the spiritual side of things. I'll get back to it. Make it more simple and practical. If there is a police, there will be a robber. If there is a robber, there will be a police. And the world moves in the friction of the robber and the police. The robber goes after something, the police comes after in search of him, he gets caught, maybe he changes, then the another robber will come in, the police will start up going after it. So the world is running because of the friction of negativity and positivity, and it will always remain the same way. But your point, as Vinay is standing there, is, am I respecting woman? Am I respecting human being? If each one of you who's listening to the shows begins to respect human beings, all these murder, rape won't be happening in this world, in your family. So my thing, don't depend on the Indian education or the educational system to change people. Your point is, give time to your family, give time to your children, give time to your brothers and sisters, so the values of the family gets transferred to these children in the best possible way, so it benefits your family. If each and every family starts seeing it from this point of view, I assure you the murder, the rape and crimes will stop. But then it can't stop, because the world has to move, the world has to run, the world gets busy. When you get busy, you miss out a lot of transferring which you're doing. Nowadays, look at all the children. Both the parents are working. The children is either handed over to a maid, or the children is either handed over teachers or tuitions, or they play with their own group. Who is transferring the values to your children? It's not the parents, it's the outsider. And when the outsiders are transferring values, make sure they will share their values which benefits them, and not your family values. So if this is understood, automatically it's going to transfer the world. But how many of you have time? COVID situation is the best thing which has actually happened, and it's going from that point, right? So I hope I have answered the question. I can still go on with questions. Okay, further questions coming in. Barak, I don't want to answer the question in a public forum. I would just keep it. Chaitana says thank you. Mohammed says thank you. Some people have to go for prayers. Feel free to go for your prayers. Today's Friday. So yeah, and this will be saved anyway. So it's all good from that point. He says, right, sir. Barak's next question. Our education teaches how to make a car. In abroad, they teach how to make engineering components. What do you think it has so much of difference? Now, see, what you don't understand is, if you know how to design a car, or if you learn how to design a car, you also know how to design an engine component. Engineering is the same, my friend. It is just created differently for a different perspective. So if you think that you're not interested in car and find out places where you can learn about engine components, go ahead and take that step and learn about engine components. So the point is, it's not, again, back to education. It's all about, are you a good student or not? If you are a good student, the education, the teacher will come after you. But if you're not a good student, if you don't want to have just time pass and work on from that point of view, it works against you. First, be a good student. Thank you, Vinay. I hope you got the answer, right? So Barak, I hope I have answered that question. So stop comparing. See what you're worth for and make sure you select that, right? Okay, Moideen's question. Sir, from the past 150 years, education system is not changed. I think some theoretical education system is not giving importance, creative innovation. What will you suggest? Creativity, innovation. The problem right now, guys, get this point very clear. The killer of creativity, the killer of innovation is media and not education. The killer of creativity, the killer of innovation is not the educational system. It is media which is killing it. Why do you watch a movie for 3 hours? It improves your creativity? It improves your innovation? No. Why are you on social media, Facebook? It creates your imagination? No, it is just entertainment. So the world has moved in so much of entertainment that they forget what they have to grow. My simple thing, whatever you have learned in your educational 150 years of whatever education, theoretical knowledge, start applying into your life. I'm telling you, you will get your creative and innovative idea automatically. Stop blaming the educational system that is only theoretical, but at the end of the day, your practical is you have your hands to do, you have the mind, you have the education. Start applying it with your hands. You will get dirty. You will net the knowledge automatically. Right? So what I'm trying to tell here is that don't look at the education. Look at what you're doing after you're done with your education. The question lies there. So you have, for example, when I did my MBA, I tell people, MBA teaches you life. MBA tells you how to manage money. You yourself is a business. You yourself have HR in it. You yourself have finance in it. You yourself have marketing in it. It's all working into your life. It teaches you life. MBA teaches you life. How many of you sees it from that point of view? Very few. Because for you, I have to get marks, get a manager's job. You're focused on that. You're not focused on creativity. You are not focused on how do I apply MBA into my working field? How do I apply what I learned in marketing into marketing myself? How do I learn the finance management and manage my finance that way? Very few people do it. You all learn it because for education point of view. That is why most of the bookish knowledge remain as a bookish knowledge. You only build up ego with that. So I hope I've answered the question, Moideen. Okay. Now, next question is Swarna's asking, sir, I really want to learn new things like software skills. When I study, these people make fun of me and I get insulted, but I can't say anything because most of them are friends. Stop getting friends who's actually demotivating you for growth. Swarna, keep doing what you're doing. You are on the right track. Keep growing every day. And when you say grow, if friends are unnecessary to you, leave that friends and grow. When you start growing with all their software skills, new set of friends with that similar skills will join you. But when you start growing, always remember that you will be alone for some time because the whole world don't want to grow. They want to be lazy. They want to blame. They want to complain. They want to blame the educational system. They want to blame the government. They want to blame their parents. They want to blame their uncles and aunties. Let the world blame. You keep growing. And once you grow and reach to a level, people ask you how you did it. That time tell them what you did. Right? So my suggestion is make sure you select your friends properly so that it works it from that, right? Shabit is asking, is working experience really needed to get a job in the Middle East or other countries which pays more than here in India? See, anywhere working experience plays bigger role than anything else. I'll tell you something there, right? So get that work experience if you can, because that gives you an edge compared. So whoever's doing BCom or bachelor's or whatever it is, what you need to do here is see if I can make work. Go and work free. If there is any, if you're in engineering or a skill related job, go and work evening freely to companies of the skills which you want to improve. You start doing that, you build up experience, and when you start building that experience, automatically things are going to change, right? And that's how you do it. Mfaya says thank you. Abdul, so say about online classes and regular classes. Both are same. I don't see any difference. If you are a good student, if it's online or if it is offline, but it makes no difference to you at the end, right? So what you have to do is that is, but when you differentiate things automatically, what the difference is? How many of you watch motivational videos on YouTube? I know many people looking at motivational videos. See, I'm not a motivational speaker. Get that very clear. But many people are watching YouTube videos, tons and tons of things on YouTube. But when a teacher comes online, oh, teacher, no, not any motivational speaker, and you differentiate yourself. When you differentiate it yourself, there is a problem, right? Thank you for that feedback. Nice presentation. What's better, exams or activities? Both. Mohiddin is saying, I'm not comfortable with it because I'm not comfortable. Your answers, because what is Mohiddin's question? What's he not comfortable with? Yes, you won't be comfortable because, okay, then he says, thank you. It was a really good session. Okay, so he's fine with it, right? Shreya is asking, I want to know who is my idol? My idol is the people who I talk to. So Shreya, today, if you really look at it, my idol is you, because you have asked these beautiful questions which I could answer to these beautiful things, and I keep working on from that point of view. My idolize is my audience, the audience who asks me this question, who makes a difference on these questions, and that is what who my true idol is. I don't idolize specific people, because if I idolize specific people, my energy will transfer to them. Why celebrities are celebrities is not because they're celebrities, it is because the energy the fan followers give them, which is exchanging their growth energy to the celebrities for that they can grow. That is why idolizing is not that good. If you have someone as an idol, learn their life. Learn, like if you want to be Sachin Tendulkar, your point is study 1 month, 1 year about Sachin Tendulkar. Close the book and be Shreya Sharma and keep growing on that Shreya Sharma for the next 10 years by doing what Sachin Tendulkar did. You will end up being Shreya Sharma rather than Sachin Tendulkar. Right? So that's my objective. As I tell you, I tell everyone, meet me once, clear all your doubts, and forget me. I don't want to be anyone's idol, and I don't idolize anyone as my idol too. My job, my duty is to give the answers which people are. I do sessions all around, completely, purely giving back to the community, and that is it. It's just my mission. So how do I idolize someone? I can't. My Here. Okay, so guys, Instagram, I really don't know what happened. The network just froze up. Oh my God, I have so many comments coming here. So the network is gone. Okay, so I think the network has a small issue. So I really don't know why it happened. Anyways, everyone have understood it in the best possible way. Okay, now Shad is back. Naushad, come back. Okay, anyways. So yeah, he's here. So yeah, so that's good. I think it happens once in a while. Maybe it's a lot of network coming in, and sometimes the system just freezes off for a second to rethink the whole thing. But anyways, I'm getting a lot of feedback. Many people saying thanks for this day. So there you go, Naushad. All positive feedbacks coming in because Naushad told me to stop by 12 o'clock because most of the kids have to go for prayers and we shouldn't be holding on for something which people are going to do good. So it was a pleasure, guys. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask me in whichever form. I come live on my Instagram and social media platforms also. If you like to be part of it, if you like to be a part of my WhatsApp group also, you can be a part of it. Whatever it is, I'm there available for the world to spread positivity. It depends on how you really want to take it forward and work it from there. Now I'll hand it over to Naushad. You're ready or? No, he's not ready yet. I think you're muted. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I hope
all I can say is,
the show.
yes, sir. I really enjoyed it. Lots of questions coming in, and you're answering. So what I really can say is, wow. That's all I can say. Lots of questions, but the best thing was the answer you gave. It's easy to ask questions, but answering those questions is the real challenge.
Yeah.
And not everybody can do it so easily. So only few people who think positively do it. And sir, you are one among them. Hats off to you. It
All
was
thanks
really
to
great having you for the session, and I hope in future we will do more sessions. And hope once this pandemic is over, we'd like to have you in our college campus.
For sure,
Now,
anytime. I'm ready to serve. But quickly,
okay.
I just want to just finish off one thing. I actually forgot to talk on this topic about the COVID. Guys, very, very simple thing on the COVID. We talked a lot about education. This is one of the best education topic session which I've done. Beautiful questions from you people. But really quick on COVID. Stop exposing yourself to too much COVID news. That is the first point. Only see every day 15 minutes of COVID news to get an update what my society, what my government changes and rules which they are making. So the point here is focus on that and don't read so much of COVID. Because the longer time your mind becomes weak, and the longer time you tend to believe that you have COVID is going to come after you. So the point is, and then the other thing is you have such beautiful time with your family, spend that quality time, spend that whatever, and most of the youth, you have a lot of business dreams and work on that time. So make sure you do all that. And at the end of the day, who was going for interview, your first question on all interviews will be what you did during the COVID time. If that answer is not good answer, that I did this training, I did this planning, if that answer is not good, most of you are not getting a job, I can assure you on that. Right? So I'll hand it over to Naushad sir back again.
All right, sir. So to wind up the session, I request my dear colleague and friend, Mr. Sainath Chiran, the man behind the works of the videos and voice of Deek Parassini and our college videos, an excellent job by him. I request him to give the vote of thanks.
Good morning, Deek.
Good morning.
Sir. Good morning.
You have beautiful voice, man. So that's really great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Okay, let me. Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Deek Parassini, as well as all the viewers over there. And it's me, Sainath from VIT Polytechnic, from the Department of Mechanical Engineer. So it's my pleasure to have today's vote of thanks for this wonderful session. And first and foremost, I would like to thank our Deek Parassini, who have rapidly responded to the all the questions of our students as well as the viewers. So we are really grateful to have you on this today's session. And if time permits, we are looking forward to more sessions with all the students again. And thanks for giving your valuable time with us with BIT Polytechnic. Thank you, sir, for being with us.
All thanks to God, and thank you everyone in the BIT team for giving this opportunity. As I said, I tell the whole world I am available. It depends on how you want to use me, right? So yeah, so it's a pleasure, sir, to get your voice, and thanks a lot for a very good intro video which you have created. It's really beautiful.
Thank
it's
you.
actually a first intro video I ever had, right? So that's really good. It makes me very special.
Voice was given by me, and the video was done by our student. So he will
Great.
be actively participating in all this, Mr. Swastik, and he
So
have been asked many questions also.
oh,
And thank
Swastik
you.
is the one. Yeah. He
Yeah,
messaged me personally also. I forgot about that. Yeah, now I linked with everything. Right. Perfect. Yeah.
yeah. The BIT Polytechnic is always thankful to him. All the college videos he have helped us a lot.
Great. So that is what See, that is an example of swastik, right? When you
Yeah,
start helping people, you grow yourself, right?
yeah,
So what swastik is doing, the more he helps, the more feedback he gets, and that could obviously lead to some other opportunity, right?
yeah,
So that is what you got to do. Don't sit and waste your time. The problem here is that everyone wants to watch that IPL or the movie and waste the time. Creation and the creativity. I get a lot of questions. So that will that creative, if you study the whole time, is there creativity? Look at Swatwik, right? He is creating his own creativity with the knowledge which he has, right?
yeah,
So yeah, yes,
yeah.
sir.
So I'd like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. Aziz Mustafa, who have been supportive with us and providing us all the resources to make this session wonderful. I would also like to thank the principal of BIT, Bearys Institute of Technology, Dr. Manjur Bashar sir, for being supportive with BIT Polytechnic. I would also like to thank the principal of BEATS, that is from architecture, Professor Ashok Mendonza sir, for joining hands with BIT always. I would like to thank Mr. Naushad sir as well as Anas sir for being the backstage of today's session. And they have been coordinated with Deek Parassini all the time personally, and they have made this session very colorful. So I would my heartful gratitude to Mr. Naushad sir as well as Anas sir for making this session very colorful. So I would also like to thank the HODs of various department of Bearys Institute of Technology. I also like to thank all the staff of Bearys Institute of Technology. And the most important thing, that is the asset of our nation as well as asset of VIT Polytechnic, the students who have actively participated on today's session and who have come up with most attractive questions. I hope all the questions have been rapidly answered by Deek Parassini, and I hope most of their doubts have been overcome with the help of you. So we are really thankful for students for actively participating, coordinating, and also thankful for all the viewers from Facebook, YouTube, Google Meet, and thank you one and all, and thank you once again, sir, for being the part of BIT Polytechnic family. Thank you once again.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot. So yeah, so 5 marks presentation. Barack Obama is our feedback person here, right? So that's
Yeah.
really great. So it's a pleasure, guys, everyone. So we will be just signing out of the show, and for sure, and special thanks to everyone, and a special thanks to Naushad sir and Anas sir for being a part of this whole system, because somewhere around they have built it has happened, and special thanks to the principal for being a part of this again. So guys, thanks a lot. It was a pleasure. Feel free to connect us in whichever ways you want, and we will take it from there. We'll be ending this show. It is a pleasure. See you, and
Thank
stay
you all for
tuned.
joining today. Take care and have a nice
No
day.
shoes again. And unless you can, Naushad, you can stay, right?
Yeah, okay.